me saying, how do I get a piece of this deal? And I said at that time, I am a paid spokesperson. I cannot bring you in as an LP. Not a single dollar that I lost is anybody else's money except mine. That's important for me because that's an issue.
How much were you paid?
Total deal was just under $15 million, all in.
$15 million is all it takes for Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful Shark Tank investor, to completely flip on crypto because, remember, he absolutely hated it just a few years ago. But $15 million coming in your pocket, that's going to change a lot of people's minds pretty quickly. But again, it's pretty weird that he wears that as like a badge of honor and openly talks about it and everything because just like the YouTubers who endorsed FTX, that is just customers' money because that's what FTX did. So he should probably give that back or donate or do something with it because ultimately it's not his money. But this kicked off a bunch of tweets from CZ Binance here talking about him and FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and everything that happened kind of behind the scenes. But he started talking about the $15 million that Kevin O'Leary took that changed his mind on crypto and aligned him with a fraudster, SBF. But also we know that Kevin O'Leary has been talking a lot and saying how much he's defending SBF. He was just a dumb kid, even though he's 30 years old, and he just didn't know any better. And it wasn't fraud, it was something else, desperately trying to protect his reputation. But there is a clip here that he completely contradicts himself, starting by talking about how he was against crypto in 2017.
At the time that it happened, you did disclose it, but I want to understand how you went from calling crypto garbage at one point, as you know, to deciding that this was something that you were going to stand behind.
Yes, I recall that conversation, calling it garbage, right here on this show in 2017. That was a time when a New York hotel was being tokenized here. And I was looking at that, and the regulator let me know they were not happy with that idea. And that's when I stepped away from this because clearly the regulatory environment was not prepared.
So he talks about how he stepped away from crypto, didn't like it because the regulators said no. But there is another clip that he completely goes against what he says for what he just said here.
An owner of a very prestigious brand hotel in this city is going to internationally issue an asset-based coin for ownership, and you'll participate in the distribution of a smart contract through the blockchain. You will be an owner of a third of this hotel. I'm excited about it. I'm involved in it. I hope it works.
So that seems like he's talking about the exact same hotel there and how they're tokenizing and doing great. He's extremely excited about it, but he said that was the reason he backed away. Now, maybe after this clip, that he went on to the regulators and they said how they didn't like it and he backed away then. Complete possibility, but it does look like he's completely contradicted himself with just those two clips, saying one thing here and absolutely saying the opposite in the next one. So can you actually take what he says with 100% truth and say that he's not lying to you? Probably not. He just seems like he contradicted himself right there. I'm sure what he's going to try and do is salvage his reputation and say anything that'll make him look better. Because at the end of the day, on Wall Street, your reputation is everything, and he doesn't want that to burn down just yet. But then going back to the CZ Binance thread, this is where he talks more about Kevin O'Leary, saying, unlike Kevin O'Leary, we continue to do due diligence. Even after we make an investment as an early investor in FTX, we became increasingly uncomfortable with Alameda SBF and initiated the exit process more than 1.5 years ago. So already right there trying to one-up Kevin O'Leary, saying, you know, I actually do my job and continue to do it after, which would be complete sense if Binance did do this and Kevin didn't. I mean, that makes Kevin look really bad. And he talks about Sam here, saying Sam was so unhinged when we decided to pull out as an investor that he launched a series of offensive tirades at multiple Binance team members, including threatening to go to extraordinary lengths to make us pay. We still have those text messages, to which this triggered the SBF response. He actually responded to this. And this is right here, talking about you won. There's no need to lie now about the buyout. We initiated conversations around buying you out, and we decided to do it because it was important for our business. And while I was frustrated with your negotiation tactics, I chose to still do it. Which here, I'm not sure if he's talking about the 1.5 years ago, because obviously CZ says 1.5 years ago, they started this process, and him saying that they initiated conversation around buying you out, being Binance. And I don't know if that's talking about the FTT token stuff, because we all know Binance started that. CZ tweeted saying he was dumping his FTT tokens, Alameda said, we'll buy it from you at $22 a token. He said, nope, I'm dumping it on the free market. And then we know what happened after that. Everything spiraled out of control. And Sam goes on to say, you threatened to walk at the last minute if we didn't kick in an extra $75 million. We did it anyways because this just made us feel more confident. We didn't want Binance on our cap table. But again, none of this is necessary. You won. Why are you lying about this now? Among other things, as you know, you didn't even have the rights to pull out as an investor unless we chose to buy you out. Much of the tokens X/equity were still locked. So looking at this, assuming they're talking about the FTT token stuff when he was dumping that and saying he wanted an extra $75 million on top of the $22 per token to be bought out, if that was a thing that was going on and he still turned that down, I mean, CZ probably knew what he was doing. It is unclear if they're talking about the FTT token like situation just a few months ago, or if they're talking about this year and a half ago where they started the buyout process. I don't know exactly which one they would be talking about, because they could both be making sense if you wanted to buy out a year and a half ago and you wanted extra money, and all of this could be done under those circumstances. But if you're putting it in the FTT token one, then it makes a lot of sense that maybe you want extra money and you didn't even want that. You just wanted to try and negotiate, and FTX said, sure, we'll do anything to keep the Ponzi going. And he just said, no, we're taking it all down, and we know what happened from there. But CZ goes on to respond saying, Sam, not that it matters now. You also can't force us to sell if we don't want to. Also, we have the veto right to block any further fundraising you were doing. Never used or mentioned it. It was never a competition or fight. No one won. Don't try to tell your friends to focus on us. Focus on yourself. You should have learned that by now. So kind of weird way to end that, saying don't tell your friends to focus on us, because by far, Binance is not some clean, almighty, greatest crypto exchange in the world. I think a lot of people are starting to realize that now, with more people digging into this stuff. Basically, if your exchange has their own coin, they might be in trouble, and Binance has BNB tokens, so maybe Binance isn't as solvent and as great as everyone's like saying. Obviously, they have a ton of money, so if something was to happen, it would take a lot to make it happen. But right now, we haven't seen it. But Binance is definitely far from the best and cleanest crypto exchange out there. But ending it this way, saying, don't tell your friends to focus on us, seems a little weird. Why would you be scared or even put that out there? Like, if you don't care if they focus on you, if you're not doing anything wrong, or you have no weaknesses, then it shouldn't matter if his friends focus on you, right? But CZ ends it all by saying, if Kevin O'Leary is looking for someone to blame for the implosion of FTX, he should start by wagging his finger at his investment partner, Sam, and then perhaps at the man in the mirror. So, of course, saying Kevin should take a little bit of accountability, which he should. He invested in FTX. All of the investment firms and hedge funds and people who invested in FTX definitely have played a part in this, because they kept the charade going and didn't do their own due diligence that they should have done, and they kept it going. Sam is obviously the person who committed all this fraud and should be in jail, but for some reason is having fluff pieces written about him, about how great he was, and his empire fell, and he was the most generous billionaire, and now he can't do it. We'll see how it all comes to an end. There's a Congress hearing coming up pretty shortly, so maybe we'll get more answers there. If the Congress goes easy on Sam and throws him fluff pieces, I think we'll all know that those political donations really paid off. That's gonna do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in my next video.